Welcome back to Content Summit 17. We are here today with Vlad Moldavskiy. He is the Chief Growth Officer at Mabbly. Vlad, how you doing today?
I am doing just splendid. Thanks for having me today, James.
I'm really excited to chat with you today, Vlad. Before we get into the topic, we're going to be talking about how to build an organic keyword strategy. And so I think our attendees are going to get a ton of value out of what you're about to share. You just shared it with me offline. But before we dive into that, can you explain what you and your team are up to at Mabbly?
Awesome. So, Mabbly is a full-service digital branding firm. We started as a digital analytics or digital agency focused on AdWords and search engine optimization only. But over the last 3.5 years, being a player in the market and, looking at where the industry is going, we've really realized that creative and digital are two extremely important components to digital success, and they really work together. So what Mabbly is it's a firm that is very data driven, that uses creative content to engage different audiences online and attract different audiences online that ultimately help you drive either sales from a B2C perspective or sales from a B2B perspective.
Got it. I love it. So Vlad, let's dive right into how the folks watching this can build an organic keyword strategy. The first thing you talked about as we were unpacking this online is you said that you want to start by benchmarking against your competitors. You mentioned a tool called SEM Rush. Can you talk to us about what do people need to do to benchmark, or like how do you get started with benchmarking against your competitors?
Awesome. So I'm a data nerd. So people get to know Mabbly, don't know me as the data nerd. So SEM Rush is an extremely powerful competitor intelligence tool. You have kind of a free version that you could use as a small business owner or different size business owner that kind of gives you some insights. But also, paying about $70 per month, you'll get kind of full access, full set of information about your visibility in search as well as competitors. So the first thing that you want to do when building a keyword strategy is understand what keywords are you actually ranked for today. And believe it or not, there's a lot of business owners who have a site who come to Mabbly and say, hey, we need search engine visibility. We have none today. But when we actually input their domain into SEM Rush, we see that, in fact, they are ranked for specific keywords that are related to their business, but they may not be ranked on the first or second page. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, what are those terms that are on second and third page? What are the actual pages that are ranked for those terms? And how can we keep building authority or driving traffic and engagement to those pages so those keyword ranks and those pages can continue to improve? The second part of that is understanding, where are your competitors for, how do your competitors compare for the terms that you're ranked for, right? So for example, let me give you a specific example. So digital marketing firm might be a focus for Mabbly for search engine, right? If I'm position 3 and I know my competitor company, Joe Smith is position 2, I know that they're getting an X% more in market share or click-throughs than myself, right? And if I understand where my competitors are in the playing field compared to the keywords that I've already more or less conquered, I'll be able to learn from what they're doing and begin to actually take over their competition. So that's kind of one thing. Another thing from a competitor perspective is SEM Rush. You could actually drop your competitor URLs into the search box, and you can see what keywords are they ranked for, right? Okay. And that's important to know because although we may not be ranked for those terms, you could take a look and you already know that you're very similar because they're ranking for some of the terms that you're ranked for. So you could start to see what terms they're ranked for that you may not be ranked for today that you may be able to target as well. So that's kind of almost like a three-step, approach. It's one is understanding where in the world are you, right? How visible is your site? Two is which of your competitors are ahead of the terms that you already think you're capturing, and how do we actually continue to create content around those terms so we could take over our competition. And then three is, if you're not ranked for a lot of terms that may help your business, what other terms can you begin to focus on that your competitors might be ranked for today, but you're not?
Okay, got it. So this next piece, Vlad, that you said is really important to understand, is to understand the top pages that you're currently ranking for on your own site. Can you talk to us about this a bit?
Yeah, so I think, understanding so it's interesting, and you probably will understand where I'm getting with this, but search engine optimization traditionally was let's keyword fluff, let's keyword stuff, let's build as crappy links as possible to our site, because Google will see that we're doing all of this and Google will increase our search engine results.
Yeah.
That's not really the case. It's all about user experience, right? So if a visitor on your site is not having the best possible user experience, we're not able to fully capitalize. So the reason why understanding what pages are ranked from an organic perspective, really important, because if they're already ranked, we're already doing something right, right? And then actually backing into web engagement data for those specific pages, such as bounce rate, right? Such as how long they're actually going down that page or what content they're reading on it, we'll actually be able to take insights from that page and create new experiences through visual design that may engage our audience even more than it already is today, right? So for example, I may find that, my branding page on my site has a lot of keywords that result in visibility in search engine, right?
Yeah.
So knowing that, but then when I dig deeper, I might see, okay, but this page has an 85% bounce rate, which is dismal, which is horrible in our industry. So if we're already ranked today, it tells me that we're probably doing a little better than all of our competitors or other pages that are ranked. But what can we do today to get the visitor on this page that keeps them on the page, but also keeps them browsing through our site? So that's kind of what I mean is, what are the keywords that we rank for? What are the top pages for those keywords? And then what's the web engagement data or user data around those pages today? And how can we improve engagement through visual design and the content and the user experience that we're setting forth to our target audience on our site today?
Got it. I love it. So Vlad, this last piece that I want to touch on here, you talked to me offline about looking at the cost per click. So whenever you're looking at the whether or not you're actually going to pay for Google Ads or not, there's an indicator by looking at the price of that cost per click. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. So for example, so there's in Google, there's paid, which is AdWords, and there's organic, which is search engine, what we're talking about today. Paid, you have to pay for the keywords. Organic, if you're creating amazing, remarkable, engaging content, hopefully that content starts to rank in organic and you won't have to pay for it. So when you look at cost per clicks on an AdWord level for a search engine, organic search engine strategy, here's kind of what I mean by that. For example, I might search in Google digital marketing, and that cost per click might say $2, right? The second search might be digital marketing firm, and that cost per click might be $26. What is the difference, right? The difference is the cost per click is going to generally get a lot higher when search intent or when search intent is high. Generally that's going to forecast a high cost per click.
Okay.
So a user who searches digital marketing firm will probably have a lot higher intent to actually hire or fill out a contact form on my site than a user who's just searching digital marketing, because digital marketing, that cost per click is probably low because the intent isn't that high. They're probably just doing research, right, about the industry. They're probably trying to learn concepts. They're trying to find businesses. It's so broad that we don't really know what their intent is. Yeah. So cost per click, if you're able to look at AdWord, keywords around AdWord, the higher the cost per click, usually the higher the search intent. So when you're building your organic strategy, focus on the keywords that have a cost per click high level on AdWords level, because those are generally the ones that are going to result in the highest conversion percentages once a visitor actually hits your site, hits your landing page, whatever that is on your site today.
Got it. And so by understanding, what those terms are, you start to kind of work backwards from there and start to build out content that's going to hopefully allow you to rank for those specific keywords. Is that correct?
Exactly. So, for example, I could write a blog that talks about, to a CMO, 7 ways, 7 things you should do to, screen a digital marketing firm prospect or whatever it is, But we could start to educate the CMOs around how to hire a digital marketing firm, right? What a digital marketing firm should be doing from an account process perspective, things that allow our audience to begin to really trust us as an authority online that later might get them to convert as a sales leader, a sales prospect.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Vlad, this has been incredibly helpful. If there's somebody watching this session, maybe they want to connect with you further on this stuff, or they want to learn more about Mabbly and possibly work with you guys on that side, what would be the best way for them to go about doing both of those things?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, quick tangent here. It was interesting because my grandmother called me last week, and she said that her and my father spent about 2 hours of their day trying to figure out what an organic keyword strategy is, and they couldn't really figure it out. So, in that case, if you're out there and you're watching or you're listening to the show, and you still have no idea what an organic keyword strategy is after this session, reach out to me at Vlad at Mabbly. It's VLAD at Mabbly, MABBLY.com, and just ask any questions. I'm very accessible, and I love connecting with business owners, marketing leaders in all different types of industries, and I'm always happy to help.
I love it. Well, Vlad, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, man. I think this is going to add a ton of value, so thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, James.